The UFC is basically MMA's United Nations. Fighters from all over the continent are represented on the main stage, and this at times has caused some interesting cultural exchanges, such as the time that Khabib called Conor McGregor a chicken, which apparently in Dagestan is a really big thing and extremely disrespectful. However, aside from the cultural exchanges, at times the political functions have had an impact on the sport. We saw this at the time that Korean Zombie had to return to South Korea to complete his mandatory military service, or in the boxing world, when Vladimir Kiltchko and Usyk went to Ukraine to assist in the war effort. The MMA world is at one of these hurdles once again, with Vladimir Putin's announcement of a partial mobilization of the Russian army. For those of you who don't know what mobilization is at all, I'm here to help. There's a difference between a full mobilization, which is what happened in Ukraine at the start of the war, where men from the age of 18 to 60 were conscripted into the army, and a partial mobilization. With the partial mobilization, like the one that was announced in Russia, men from 18 to 60 with previous military experience are drafted into the army. Now we're up to speed on that. Now we can talk about the effects that might have on UFC and UFC fighters. Prior to the mobilization announcement, reports indicated that a disproportionate number of individuals from poorer republics in Russia were being drafted into the war. This included Dagestan. In recent times, fighters out of Dagestan have been making waves in the UFC. For those who don't know, Dagestan is the home of Khabib. Contrary to the conscription guidelines, individuals older than 60 and students with no military experience have been reported to have received conscription letters. This triggered protests in Dagestan, where women took to the streets and blockades were erected to stop the drafted individuals from being taken away, with some protesters calling directly on Khabib to comment on the situation. In response, Khabib took to his Instagram and said, and I quote, "You press your own people. It is clear that you have an order to stop the rally, but you cannot do without pulling women and shooting in the air. If you're going to be taken away tomorrow, your women will also stand for you as well." Monkav Mohammed, who's also from Dagestan, commented on the situation by saying, "Tomorrow you don't know what the situation will be in your home. In Dagestan, people have a very small salary. Men earn as much as they can, and they are taken away to fight. Understand, your own people, at least your women, would also stand up for you." Some of the UFC's emerging talent are from Russia, and it's been reported that MMA fighters such as Marif Piav have had to flee Russia due to receiving conscription notices. The situation is really sad, and this is a hard one to report on, and we all hope that peaceful resolution could come to the end of this conflict. But in the meantime, let us know your thoughts. Like, share and subscribe.